Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Gene Boykin. I'm the founder of the GoGetter Family Real Estate Investing Academy. All right. This is where I teach people to buy investment properties by becoming the bank. All right. This is a non traditional way of doing real estate investing that the wealthy and the elite have been doing for a very long time. All right. But they buried this stuff away. So I'm here to bring that knowledge straight to the people. All right. So tonight, though, what I'm talking to you about, because it's kind of a special night, man. For one thing, I'm doing 30 lives in 30 nights. I believe this is like 20. Yeah, tonight is 20. So 20 nights, man. I've been going hard straight, 20 nights straight. So got 10 more to go. But it is also my birthday. All right. It's your boy's birthday. So don't forget to smash that like button for me. All right. And consider subscribing too if you're new to the channel. Feel like I bring you some value. All right. So tonight, though, I'm going to talk to you about why you should not, why it is a major mistake, in my opinion, to buy houses at auction, at sheriff's auction, and at tax deed auctions. All right. It is a huge mistake because there is a better way. A much better way, man. Man, there's so many benefits to it, man. I don't even know where to start. But I'm gonna start by right when I come back. All right. Thanks for joining me. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, man. Or you can just be a player about it. Hit that thing.
I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. Hustle to the end. We some no quitters. Knock it out the park. We for show hitters. Right, left hemisphere. That's a dome splitter. Yeah. We control our own destiny. Make moves. Cultivate whole legacy. Creative finance. Bring more ecstasy. The right ingredients. Now that's a dope recipe.
All right. Yo, hey, I'm happy to be here tonight. Got some people on here. Tamara Ramsey from Florida. Tamara, how you doing? My guy Joshua Pito. What's up, man? Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You still don't need to know. Says happy birthday. Appreciate it, homie. Anthony Torres, straight out of Houston, Texas. What's up, big dog? So tonight, guys, I'm gonna give you some game. I'm gonna give you some game. One, because I always give you the game. You know what I mean? That's just what I do. All right. My guy Israel Nicholas, Spy 909ify in the building, the Mike Show. All right, all right. Got all the players tonight. I like it. I like it, man. So guys, I turned 42 today. 42. Now, last night I was chilling. I was playing a little blackjack, you know what I mean? And guy next to me found out it was my birthday. He was like, "Hey, so what are you, 28?" I was like, "Yeah, homie, I like the way you think." Yeah, I like the way he was thinking. But I'm 42, so I'm rather seasoned. All right. And, I was thinking about it today, 42 years old. And what's crazy is I learned of some numbers, guys. Learned of some numbers. Chaz, what's good, homie? Hey, got my guy Trent in the building. August More Music. All right, thanks, brother. So, um, one, did you guys know that it only takes you making $180,000 a year to be in the top 10% of income earners in the United States of America? Yeah. And did you guys know that it was only 2 years ago today that I was at a birthday party, man. Not really a party, man, but just whatever, little shenanigans or whatever. Hey, that's what's up, man. Yeah, we got the same birthday. I like it. I like it. Um, so well, I'm having a couple drinks. I really don't drink or whatever. And I remember, man, people were just talking, and I told everybody that when I have a wedding, I plan on having a destination wedding and paying for my friends' accommodations and their flights. You know what I mean? My friends and my family that come, man. And my sisters, they started laughing at me. They were laughing at me. They damn sure weren't laughing with me. Now I remember whispering into my then at the time fiance's ear. I said, "I want you to remember this moment. Remember this moment right now." You know what I mean? And it's 2 years from that day. 2 years from that day. And I'm happy to say that I'm not getting married. All right. So there's that. We're gonna get that on out the way. I'm not getting married, but I am in the top 1% of income earners. Now, I'm not at the top of that 1%, but I am in the 1% in this country. It only takes roughly about $440,000 a year to be in the top 1%. And I love showing receipts, man. So I drop them like it's hot. But I said all that to say I turned 42, and you know, that ain't I ain't no young spring chicken now. There is no doubt about that. I just make it look good. What can I say? But oh, I'm just talking crazy, man. But I was like, damn, I got my first sales job in 1998. 1998. And I've had many of sales jobs in between. All right. And one, sales is really it's a way of life because somebody, I mean, we're always selling ourselves to somebody, selling our services, selling our time, right? When you go to a job interview, what are you doing? You're selling yourself. You're selling yourself, right? Society has put out there, like in the movies and stuff like that, that salesmen, business people are bad. Um, so some people don't strive for it, man, or they put in a little bit of work and then they give up. I've been in sales 24 years. I've got 24 years of experience. And I'll tell you what, man, when I first started out back in the day at MCI, cold calling, man, people to get them to change over their long distance, I sucked. I was horrible at it, dude, like bad. And the thing is, though, I had to gain confidence. I had to gain confidence, man. But the only way that I would gain confidence was when I became more and more competent, right? Whether it was I knew the products that I was selling, I knew how to overcome objections, or I would use one and it worked. And I would get more confidence. And the thing, confidence, confidence, what that comes from is consistency in learning. If you are consistent with learning, well, then you gain more confidence that you are gaining competence. When you have that, you will continue to push forward. But what happens is this, see, and I heard a great, say this earlier today, man. I don't know if it was Steve Harvey or Myron Golden, but they said the problem is we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. Now we may put ourselves out to the world as we never lie, and we have all this, we have integrity, but how many times have you lied to yourself? How many times? I know I had lied to myself, man. What? All the time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start this tomorrow, and I don't start it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, when you tell yourself that you're gonna do something, and you haven't told nobody knows. Not your mom, not your grandma, not your cousin, not your friend. Nobody knows. Only we know how many times we have lied to ourselves. And therefore, we don't trust ourselves to do what we had said we're going to do. We've set out to do, especially if we feel like that's a big goal. So I'm trying to give you guys the key, man, and I'm gonna dive into these foreclosures. I had to go off on that little birthday tangent right there, man. But continuous, consistent learning, guys. Consistent learning. You've got to learn from everywhere, man. I can't tell you the thousands of hours, man, that I put into listening to my craft. The thousands of documents that I've read, strategies, contracts, man, you name it, scripts, thousands upon thousands that I've read consistently, and I would get better and better because one thing is for certain, one thing is absolute. We may not think that something is working for us. Whatever it is that we're doing, right? That we're trying to move forward with, it's not working for us, man. I'm not seeing the results. I'm not seeing the results, but I guarantee you it's working. I guarantee it. If it's not working for you, it is working on you. It's working on you so that you can become the person that you need to be to receive it. And this is where this story begins. This is why I know that the worst place to buy a foreclosure is at the sheriff's auction. Man, there was a seed there. So I'm gonna dive in. All right. One of the things is you don't want to buy at sheriff's auction because there is such a better way. But I didn't know that initially. But I'll tell you what I was. I was consistent in my learning. I said, you know what? I've been down to this courthouse so many times, man. I've asked for pre-foreclosure lists, foreclosure lists, list pendants. And the lady looked at me like she didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, list pendants, that's pre-foreclosure, but that's not even what list pendants means. And I didn't know that at the time. List pendants just simply means that somebody has filed a suit against this person, and then that address is in there. So it's a court case. I didn't know that. But I said, you know what? I'm looking up these auctions in my legal section of my newspaper, and I see one in there, man, that's in a pretty good middle class neighborhood in my city. When I saw the 100 block, it was on like 32nd and Jennings. And once you get above about 27th, 27th and up, oh dude, it's nice. It's nice middle class, man. Like it's she, I'll take them all day. So I see a house in there, and the judgment on it is 17,000. All right. It was 17,000, but that's before your legal expenses, your fees, right? And then the sheriff's department charges you, put some fees on there for holding the auction, right? They've got to pay for that. So, but still, the house is the judgment was 17,000. So that means that these people, they weren't behind 17,000. That was all they owed on that mortgage. That's all they had remaining total was 17 grand. The house, the house was worth at the ARV 130,000. $130,000. So there's about $113,000 in room there. So I was like, holy shit, I got to go to this auction. Thing was, I didn't really have any money. I know I didn't even have the 17, you know. And the first thought that popped into my mind was, damn, I wish I could have got to these people before they went to auction. That was the first thing I thought when I saw that number, like, man, because I knew I couldn't go there and win the bid. And wait till you hear what happened, dude. It's crazy. So I knew I was going down there, and I had talked to my partner too. And I was like, man, there's this house, 17 grand, da, 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 da. And he's like, well, what if it gets bid up, man? I don't have enough if it gets bid up. I was like, yeah, you're right, man. And this house probably get bid up some because there's too much room. So this auction, this auction though, this one was packed because of this house, dude. Because of this house, 17,000. It's up on 32nd and Jennings, good neighborhood in my city. But it's in auction, man. So I go to the auction. I'm with my lady, man. What up, y'all? What up? Everybody joining your boy. I'm gonna answer that question, Mike, show in a minute. Anyway, so I go to the auction and I'm nervous. This is my first auction. I know I ain't finna bid, but I got my little notepad and pencil, like I'm trying to look the part, kinda, I guess, right? But it's public, right? So I was like, man, I'm gonna go down here and see what's up because I'm tired of these ladies down here telling me I can't do this and they don't have that and all this whole other stuff. So I go and it's packed. And I see a lady, man, that I know. She worked for my uncle down there at the courthouse, man. She was a secretary. And I was like, "Hey, Karen, how you doing? What are you doing down here?" She's like, "Oh, I just came to be nosy, and see this house, what it goes for." I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's a nice house." So the bidding starts. The bidding started at 21,000 though, right? That's with all the fees and stuff because it was 17 grand, and then you got the foreclosure fees, things like that. So the bidding starts at 21,000, and I'm looking. I'm like, man, I want to see who's bidding. Now at this time, I didn't have my other tactics, man, to get other information at these auctions because they're a treasure trove of information. So the bidding starts and it starts to go up fast, right? We're gonna start the bidding out at $21,000. 21 after they said the little rules and stuff, right? So somebody 21, then somebody says 25, boom. Then somebody says 27. Then somebody just jumps from like 27 to 35. 35. Now you got at these auctions, right? And I'll damn near guarantee that in any city that you go to, there's regulars, man. You got your regulars at these auctions that have been doing this stuff for years. They got relationships with banks. They've built up their war chest, so they're it. They're the OGs there, right? So this thing is going, 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 and it gets to about gosh, what was it? About 55,000. And a guy, man, he had like longer grayish hair, kind of balding in the front, had glasses, and he bids. And it was at 55. He jumps it up to 75. He's high 75,000. And you could hear a hush come over the room. Like when he said it, like his voice held weight, but it wasn't like a deep voice or anything like mine. You know what I mean? And oh, for those of you guys just joining me, my name is Gene Boykin. I'm the founder of the GoGetter Family Real Estate Investing Academy. All right. I teach people how to buy investment properties by becoming the bank, little money out of their own pocket and no credit checks. All right. Tonight, I'm talking about why you should not buy at sheriff's auction, why that is a huge mistake. And there's a better way. So don't forget to hit that like button. And if you feel like I bring you some value or you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. So check this out. Um, he jumps to 75,000. A hush comes over the room, and I'm like, "What the, what the hell?" Because I'm new, dude. I don't know. I've never been to one of these. I don't know who's who, right? I'm just down there, really taking up space, man, breathing up the air. And 75,000. So now people just dropped out. Dude got all the fakers out of the way, man. Like, you know what? 55,000. I'm gonna jump it up to 75. Get all the fakers out of the way. So another dude Another dude says 76,000. Boom. And then another dude says 77. So there's three dudes left. The one that jumped it up from 55 to 75, and then two other dudes. Gets up to 80 some thousand, and it's just the two dudes going at it. Right? Two dudes left, man. Get these people out of the way. Then they're going. It gets bid all the way up to $98,000. 98,000. You have to have that money by 3:30 p.m. that day. Now they ain't playing no games, and you got to have that. You got to have that real money too, a money order or a cashier's check. They not taking no checks that you wrote out by hand. None of that. You got to have that money, honey. If you don't, then the person who came in second, they'll call them and say, "Hey, this person, their funds didn't come through. Do you still want it?" If they do, boom, it's sold, right? So, um, dude ended up getting bid up to 98,000. Now remember, I told you the value of that house was 130,000. Their judgment was 17,000. But when you go to auction, now you have this dream of going to this auction that, oh my God, I'm going to find a house and I'm going to get it way under market value because it's at auction. It's just going to be so cheap. Well, the reality of the situation is it may start out cheap, but it is not cheap. If you want to get a nice house in a good neighborhood, a desirable neighborhood, and you're at an auction, that house will be bid up. It will get bid up to the ceiling. All of the profits will be bid out of it. Now, yes, you can get cheap houses at an auction and win them at an auction, but I guarantee you, they are pieces of shit, dude. Straight up. I don't even give a damn, man. Yes, they are pieces of shit. If you win it at auction, I will pretty much guarantee you, especially if you win it at a super low price. Now, the problem also lies in this. All right. This is why you don't want to buy at auction. One, all the profit gets bid out of it. Two, you're doing it sight unseen. Sight unseen. So yes, you do have the address. Okay. You do have the address. So you can look it up on Zillow. You can look it up on PropStream. You can even drive over there and look around the outside. But your ass better not go inside. If you go inside, you could get in trouble by the law. You are not supposed to go inside. You can kind of look through windows. I don't even think you're supposed to do that, really. I don't know if anybody will trip, but it's sight unseen. So you can't do an inspection, man. There is no due diligence period. They don't even, guys, listen to me. They don't even guarantee that there's not any liens on this property. They don't guarantee that it is a clean and marketable title that you will get once you get that sheriff's auction deed. They don't, it says it right there on the sheriff's auction website all the time, man. I've read a ton of them. All right. So, one, the profit gets bid out of it. Two, it is sight unseen. All right. Now, there is a better way, though. There is a better way, and I love it. From that day forward, I remember because I was down there with my fiance at the time, man. I told her when we left, I was like, you know what, babe? I'm gonna get these houses before they get to auction. I'm going to reach out to these people and see what's up and see what I can do. And this was before, man, I didn't have any of the knowledge of how to negotiate properly. I told you I've been in sales for 24 years, off and on. I had some other different gigs, man, but it was always sales, man, commission, stuff like that. So I had that going for me. But this is different. It's specialized. So those skills, they do translate, but you need a special type of skill to go speak with the person. But I thought to myself, if I can get to these properties before the sheriff's auction and I talk to this person, the house that was had a judgment of 17,000 and got bid up to 98,000, I could have talked to those people, man, and gave them 40,000. They still would have been better off, for meeting me because they would have made 23 grand. They wouldn't have had a foreclosure on their credit history. And guess what? Instead of paying 98,000, I could have paid 40 grand for the place. And that was a aha moment for me. That was it. I was like, man, I got to go before it gets to auction. So that was before, though. That was before I knew about the strategy that I use now, subject to and creative financing, man, and the Go-Getter family's wholesale and hold method. Man, what? So also, the thing about it is you're not getting all of the profit bid out of the property. Also, guys, it's not sight unseen. You actually get to go see the property, do an inspection, see if there's any, huge costs that would be associated with buying this foreclosure as an investment property, because you get to take a look at it. It's not sight unseen, but for some odd reason, people feel like reaching out to a person in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure is you shouldn't do that. Well, I believe that it's because they don't know what to say. And I'll tell you this, guys, it's not just a, hey, I can give you this much money. Do you want it? No, it's not that type of situation. That's another thing that I love about what we do, man. We are helping these people. So when we communicate that with them correctly, we help them to make a decision, right? That will, in the end, help them, right? We just do it a creative way, man, by solving their problems. So the best way to buy from sheriff's auction is actually before the auction itself. Before the auction itself. Now, the better and better that you get by finding these leads in your area, in your market, you may be able to start finding these leads right when that foreclosure action has been recorded. So that's right in the beginning stage. So that would mean if you got access to this information, and I've got a student in Reno, Nevada right now that has access to that information before PropStream, before Zillow, all of that, because she was doing her research and moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. And she kept gathering information. And then she found that pot at the end of the rainbow. So now what that means is you can actually be the first person to reach out to these people. And if you are reaching out in the proper way, using a USP, which is a unique selling proposition, and that is part of, the Go-Getter families becoming the bank 2.0 version, man, the real estate trinity. That is in our ACEs method, awareness, right? Awareness, but using that USP, unique selling proposition, you go from being an annoying pest. Hey, I want to buy your house. I can buy your house all cash. Oh, there's no realtors. Oh, this, that, and all that. No, that's an annoying pest. You go from being an annoying pest to an invited guest. But there's a certain skill level, man, certain skill set that you must have. But I'll tell you what, it is well worth it. Guys, I think all of you guys have seen on public record that house that I bought for 5,000 bucks. It was going to foreclosure auction in about like 16 to 19 days. 5,000 bucks, and then I didn't pay the 5,000 until the house was fixed up and it was sold. So it didn't come out of my pocket. No credit check, right? No lump sum of money. The profit didn't get bid all the way out of it. So I took over a mortgage that was 123,000, that one. And it was in a beautiful neighborhood, dude. There's people driving by, man. I've gotten letters from other wholesalers and shit trying to buy that house. Even the seller, man, sent me some texts that he had gotten. Like, dude, from wholesalers. They were trash, of course, but that place was desirable. I took over a mortgage that was 123,000. I sold that house in the end for $215,000. We put 27,000 in. All right. 27,000 at 123 plus 27 is 150. 65 grand, man. Now I did put 2,300 in for my crew to clean out 6 trailers of trash, but I use my knowledge, some time, and contracts, guys. Contracts. Now that house would have easily got bid up to 170, you know. And that was before the dude, if you would have bought that house sight unseen, and it was in such a great neighborhood, not the neighbor, but the one next to it, the month before that, went on the market for 185. It sold for 195, and it was a similar layout. So if you would have went to auction, to that sheriff's auction, and that house was being auctioned, you would have lost your money. You would have lost money. There's no doubt in my mind. Dude, I have helped people in those situations before where they got an investment property and they got in over their head because they're like, oh, I'm going to fix this place up when I get off of work, and it'll be an income producing property and this and that. If you would have bought that house at sheriff's auction, it would have got bid up to at least 170, maybe even 180. Then when you got inside, you would have been like, oh my God, I'm fucked. I'm screwed because I thought this house, oh yeah, people took care of it because this is a great neighborhood. This is God's country. That's what they call it in my city. So they had to have taken care of it. What, dude? They took care of that place like it was a crack house, man. Straight up. So using creative financing and subject to, we get to these foreclosures before they get to auction. That way, in a lot of cases, right? Instead of paying that whole 123,000 that the judgment was, I just had to catch up the back payments. Now on that house that I'm telling you guys about, I didn't even have to catch up those back payments because I used a loss mitigation tactic. But another one that I did, man, it was worth about 128,000. And we paid 15,000 to reinstate that mortgage and then start making the payments again. Boom, gone. So, guys, I'm going to answer a couple of questions and then I got to go, but I hope that you heard the sense in what I was saying. Even guys, if you're a wholesaler, even if you're a wholesaler, you get to these people before they go to auction. You talk to them about their problem. What is their problem, right? You got to gain that credibility and become a counselor. All right. That way you can do a needs analysis on them. Right. And then after you get that credibility and you've done your counseling part, then you go to the education aspect. That's when you do that needs diagnosis. Because see, we are pretty much considered the doctor in this situation because we are the real estate professional. The person that we're dealing with, I will almost guarantee, I'd be willing to bet that they're not a real estate professional. Therefore, we can do a diagnosis, right? We find out that they've missed this amount of payments. They missed these payments because of, right? What was the exacerbating factor? What happened? They lost their job. There was a medical emergency. Okay. Do you have a place to go? Or do you need do you need help finding a place to stay? All right. So now we know what the problem was. We know how much money they're behind. Then we know what the solution is. What do you want to achieve out of all this? Then we can give our diagnosis and we can let them know, listen, I can give you debt relief, save your credit, and then we can even put some money in your pocket. And that's part of that equity payout. And you can pay that a number of different ways. You guys saw the video with the guy. I mean, it's on TikTok. It just went viral, dude. But video with the seller, I'm giving him that $5,000 check. This is just a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So you can structure those payments a lot of different ways. But the point of the matter is this: instead of going to auction and letting those properties get all of the profit bid out of them, and then buying them sight unseen, we just get the information and reach out to them before auction. And then we can take over that existing mortgage and we can just reinstate that mortgage, man. So we can get control of a $215,000 house, really for no money out of my own pocket, but then 27,000 to fix it up and to sell it. I mean, if it doesn't get any better than that, I don't know what does. So Mike Show says, is it necessary to fill out a release form if we have PropStream? If yes, why? A release form? No, not that I'm aware of, man. I don't know of any release form with PropStream. I mean, you always, with any app that you use, there's the what is it? Terms and agreement. Is that what they call that? Where you got to click the yes box? Damn it. Where you got to click the yes box to finish your payment or whatever. The terms and conditions. Terms and conditions. That's all I know of, Mike Show. I think it makes sense to have it all documented and recorded. Well, I don't know what you mean, Joshua. Definitely still learning. What's the difference between a pre-foreclosure and a foreclosure? So this is the difference. And a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this, and it's simple. So a pre-foreclosure MQ is, it has been recorded. All right. So a foreclosure action has been recorded. That means that a lawyer or a servicing company from the bank, right, has went down to the recorder's office or to the clerk of court's office, and they said, we need to file this court action so that we can foreclose on this property and get this collateral because we borrowed this person money and they are not paying us back. And the clerk of court says, okay, is it notarized? Did you fill out this document, that document? Okay, you did. So they put it in the system. So now that is a pre-foreclosure MQ because they haven't went through the court proceeding and the judge said, smacked the gavel and said, well, your foreclosure date is such and such date away, is September 18th. Right? They haven't done that yet. So it's just been recorded and now they're going to court dates, where they're deciding the case. That is a pre-foreclosure. Now a foreclosure is once that judge has smacked that gavel and said, all right, you owe $120,000. That is the judgment. That's your judgment amount, 120,000. Now you have a specific amount that you have a judgment against you for. So you have now been foreclosed on. The judge says, yep, you haven't been paying. So 120,000 of what you owe. If you can't pay it by September 15th, that your home will be auctioned off to subsidize that debt that you took out. All right. So that's the difference, MQ. Yes, Mike Show. 100% you can. I use UPS a lot, dude. I use UPS a lot. It just depends on my prospect. If I feel like my prospects is the type that needs to sit down in a bank and make it look official, then I'll use my own bank. But if not, if I got to hurry up, man, boom, 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 wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Meet me at UPS. We got to get this handled. Boom. Boom. UPS. Absolutely. FedEx does not notarize. FedEx doesn't notarize from my knowledge because I've been there, tried it a couple of times because I needed documents notarized and my city ain't all that big, homie. So what's the best way to extend or stop the auction? So, Quinn, I was just talking to a student about this what was it, Friday. States are different, okay, but there are loss mitigation programs federally. All right. Every servicing company and every mortgage company has to have a loss mitigation department. Okay, so you can get loss mitigation is you can do a short sale, you can do a loan modification, you can do a forbearance, you can do a repayment plan, you can do a deed in lieu, right? All of these things will stop the foreclosure, stop you from being in foreclosure. You have to request most of those from the bank, right? So you got to do that in a timely manner. There's a way that you speak to the bank. And the GoGetter family, I'm a foreclosure specialist, man. So we have a foreclosure mitigation training where I pretty much give you all of the different things that you can do, and then what you need to say to the bank, and then the order that you need to do them in. But also, Quinn, there's this though. All right. So those are federal mitigation options that the federal government had laid out and said, hey, if we're going to be buying these loans on the secondary market, this fake debt that you are giving people, and we're going to then buy it from you and insure it, and you make a profit for doing nothing, you are going to have to give people loss mitigation options if they fall behind on their payments. They did that in the early 80s. Okay. That's when forbearances and modifications, repayment plans, short sales, things like that. That's how that came about. However, like in my city, my state, all right, you can get a 90-day delay of sale. Now, in different states have different different state laws when it comes to that. So the foreclosure mitigation, forbearance, repayment plan, modification, all that stuff, that's through the servicing company. But then you've got the delays through the courts, like in New Jersey. In New Jersey, you can get two 28-day or two 30-day delays. And you can get those delays all the way up until 12 p.m. on the day of the auction. You just have to follow certain steps. And the way that I found out about New Jersey was a student and I were doing a deal out there and we were trying to delay that auction, man. And we had to do a bunch of research and he stumbled upon it. And I was like, dude, this is $1 million piece of information that you found. Most people don't know how to delay an auction, right? So he found that on his the county sheriff's website, the auction website. and found out that you can turn in certain things and get a 30-day delay all the way up until the day of the auction. The auction starts at 1:30. You can get that delay all the way up until 12 p.m. 30 days. Once that first 30 days is up, you do the same thing again and you can get an additional 30 days. I was like, dude, do you know how many people we can get a hold of and tell them we can help them? And they've exhausted all their other options and they don't think anybody can help them. And we show them that we can and we can get that thing delayed, man. They're going to think we're superheroes. Spy 909 to 5. Good question. So there's a few different things you could use. So you can use an agreement for deed. All right. Because it's an agreement for the deed. You just got to put in there the timeline on it. And then if you know that you record that, that's on public record, that then you got control of the place. Or you can use a purchase and sales agreement. Purchase and sales agreement. All right. Those are the main two documents. Now you're going to need a couple other docs, but those are your main two, like purchase agreements with the numbers on them. You can use a purchase agreement. You can use an option. All right, an option to purchase real estate. An option that merely you pay a non-refundable option consideration fee, 5,000, and that says that you're going to pay this house off in 30 days or 2 years. You can set that option for whenever you like. So those are the main ones, man. Your option to buy real estate or a purchase, oh shit, or a purchase agreement or a contract for deed. Um, I guess you could use a lease option too, but the other three are better. My favorite one is a contract for deed. Okay, so Mike Show, my recommendation on that. Mike Show says, "What is the least amount of time we have before a property goes to auction to get in touch with the owner and stop the foreclosure?" My recommendation, if you are not an expert or if you don't have access to an expert that you can call, give yourself, now this is a bare minimum, like you're going to be flying by the seat of your pants with this amount of time, even if you're not an expert. But you want to make sure there's at least 2 weeks, dude. And 2 weeks is hard. 2 weeks is hard. But you want to make sure there's at least 2 weeks until the actual auction date. Because, and I mean, like they've agreed to sell it to you and let you take over the debt. And they sign the information release and that limited power of attorney so that you can communicate with the bank. They've signed it and you have 2 weeks. All right. Because when you send that limited power of attorney, dude, that takes 3 to 5 business days right there for them to get that on the right person's desk. And they sit there and tell you that. They tell you, yeah, you're not going to be able to talk to them for 3 to 5 days until we get this to the account manager's desk. I'm like, you mother, all you got to do is dude, email it. And then you can call them from your phone and say, hey, I'm talking to this guy. He emailed me the notarized limited power of attorney because time is of the essence here. But that's how they operate. So I always say 2 weeks, man. The ladies in St. Louis I helped, dude, that thing had like 8 days. And don't you know that we got it delayed on the day of the auction? Now, this is the thing too, right? I've told you about all these, you got the court ordered delays, right? You've got the delays that are just part of the procedure. Then you've got your loss mitigation delays. Well, you also have people can help you if they want to delays. Yeah, people can help you if they want to delays. That's what happened in St. Louis. They were way too late already to get a forbearance for it to go through because it takes a forbearance. They told them down there in St. Louis that it could take 30 days for that forbearance to go through. So, but the ladies, man, they kept pressing, dude, and they talked to a manager of a department, and then that manager said, "I'm going to get a hold of the manager of the foreclosure department, and I'm going to personally get a hold of them." All right, you have my word that when I get a hold of them, I'm going to have them delay it. And she says, "I know I'll be able to get it delayed because I come in before the foreclosure department gets in." And so, dude, they were up all night, man, that night, like nervous as hell because there was a lot of money to make on that deal. And sure enough, though, they called right when that place opened. And sure enough, man, they talked to that lady for about 10 more minutes and they got it delayed. So that's I'll delay it if I want to option, dude, for real. So all that said, at least 2 weeks, brother. At least 2 weeks. So, all right. So this is the last question I can take, but you still don't need to know. Says I saw pre-foreclosures in my area on PropStream from 2021 and 2020. How do I know if the pre-foreclosure is still active or if the owner has caught up the mortgage? So this is what I tell all my students, man. I'm going to give you this tip. All right. Yes, we have PropStream. Yes, you can look them up on Zillow, but you've got to have a local public records website, or you're calling down to the clerk of courts because PropStream might not be up to date. That's why all the ones that we find that are hot leads, we cross reference that. We cross reference that address with a local public records website to make sure that it hasn't been auctioned yet. Because older ones like that, dude, it might not now because of, dude, these things can drag on forever too now. But there's some states like Florida, for example, 3 weeks, man, 3 weeks. Texas, you get your shit back, dude. So if PropStream says one thing, right, and it's 2021, 2020, they might have filed bankruptcy. You can That's the nuclear weapon right there, nuclear button. File bankruptcy, self-filing bankruptcy. It'll stop it immediately. But cross-reference that data with your local public records website always. Transaction history, ownership history, man. When they bought it, what type of deed it is. It gives you information that you need to know. Are you going to be consistently learning so that you can get the confidence that you are competent? That's all it takes. That's all. But that takes continued over and over and over. You're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it. Right? You're doing it because that you are getting better. You are getting that experience, man. If it's not working for I see so many people give up, man. Oh my God. And it drives me nuts. It really drives me nuts, man. I'm telling you guys, dude, I am in the top 1% of income earners. I am. This shit, I mean, I put up receipts all the time, dude. In 2 years, I just turned 42 today. On my 40th birthday, I was working at a landscaping company. On my 40th birthday, I told my sisters my dreams and goals, and they laughed at me 2 years ago. I guarantee you they ain't laughing today. Guarantee it. Top 1%. But what it takes is consistent, continued learning. Consistent, continued learning so that you can get the confidence that you are competent. Because when you know, right, like me, for example, again, I know that a person that's in foreclosure, or well, anybody for that matter now, shit, now I got so much experience and my skill level is up there. Anybody that needs to sell their house, anybody that's in foreclosure, I know that when I am talking to them, I can help them out of their situation. And I know that I know the way. I was telling my coach and I, she's student success, head of outreach, right, and head of student success. She does student success Monday meetings on Sundays. That's the students and her accountability stuff like that. Well, she's going to be doing some transaction coordinator stuff for me, right? And I'm talking to her today, and we're doing that deal out in Denver. And I told her we're going to wholesale that property. And I said the reason why, because it has a reverse mortgage. I said, but this one, it was comorbid, right? It had more than one problem. It was in foreclosure from the homeowners association fees. Then it has a reverse mortgage. That is a problem, right? Because that thing's got to be paid off. But then also, it was a probate because his mother had died and passed it to him. And I said to keep it out of probate court, you got to wait a year before you do the transaction, and then you have to do an affidavit of heirship, and you've got to do one other step. And I said, you know what, I thought about it, and I said, you know what, coach, and I said there probably isn't four wholesalers in this entire country that knew that if a person dies and their heir, their son, their daughter, tries to sell their house and it hasn't been a year yet, they they have to go to probate. A title company will not do that transfer. But if it's been over a year, they can do an affidavit of heirship. I said there probably isn't four wholesalers in the entire country that knows that. And all that is for us is another tool in our tool belt, because now who knows how many real estate investors that this prospect that I'll be closing talk to, who knows. But I know that none of them before me could solve his problem. So I said that information, though, I got that information because I was continuously learning and taking action. And I found that information out on that St. Louis deal. I didn't know that. And then we got some information from the title company. I called my attorney. My attorney told us to do that and then quit claim deed it. And I was like, all right, cool. Now I know this, though. Consistent, continued learning helped me to get the confidence that I am competent, and people can feel that when I am talking to them about their home. I didn't start this way, guys. I didn't. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I do hope that this brought you some value. You guys got some game about these foreclosures because there's going to be ton a ton, man. A lot of foreclosures coming up on the market, guys. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right. And if you're new to my channel, man, consider subscribing, man. If you feel like I brought you some value, or you could just be a player about it and hit that subscribe button, man. But it's my birthday tonight. I'm 42 years old. I got to kick it with my family, man. Kick it with my daughter. Ate some good food all day. Hit a couple golf balls. So I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to get a little bit of rest. It's a big week coming this week, man. Got a lot of moves going on. Oh, my God. I just want you guys to know, man, you can trust yourself again. Trust yourself again, that when you tell yourself you're going to do something, that you are absolutely going to do it. And I just gave you the recipe. I just gave you the recipe of consistent, continued learning will then give you the confidence that you are competent enough to do it. And you get that by taking those courses, by going to those seminars, by making those cold calls, by doing that lead generation, prospecting, right? By doing it, by reaching out to people, by making mailers, sending them out. That is how you get that confidence that you are competent. Do it, guys. Become part of that group, man, of people so that you guys can hold each other accountable. But guys, I appreciate you watching tonight. I'm out of here, all right? And until next time, let's get to it, y'all.
I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. Hustle to the end. We some no quitters. Knock it out the park. We for show hitters. Right, left hemisphere. That's a donut.